the starting five for Belmont, orchestrated by Luke. Just a gifted passer, one of the best assist men. On cue here for three, and drains it.
Belmont is a textbook. The way they will try to carve you up. You have to have defensive patience. You have to sit down in that cheat for 20 seconds because they'll just move the basketball both sides and try to get a good shot.
Giga will get it back on the ball reversal for three. And he's a matchup problem, too, because he can step out and hit that shot with confidence.
7-footer, plays well, runs easy. That's an excellent start for this young man. Look at the ball movement.
Keze in and out. There's Hannon with the miss. Gets it back and delivers. Three to shoot here for Giga. Has to hoist it up. Off the heel of the big board to Windler. Had 20 rebounds against Morehead State to go with his 36.
Well, he tracks the ball, and again, he reminds me of Rip Hamilton, Reggie Miller, guys that were really dangerous, moving without the basketball.
And if you haven't seen Belmont before, it's the five guys playing out positionless basketball, a lot of wing players, and they give them freedom to shoot that shot orchestrated by Luke there.
Rick Bird lets his guys play. When they're strong inside, he features the inside, but the strength of their basketball team is shooting the three-point shot, and that's how they had hiccups going against Jacksonville State the last two times they matched up.
Yeah, the Bruins average 11 threes per game. Drum right. Down low to Giga, wants to take Haddon with the right hand. Strong on it, there's Windler. And without Brands down low for Belmont having graduated, you're going to see five guys out as opposed to last year for Belmont playing a 4-out, 1-in, trying to feed it in to Brands.
Yeah, Evan Brands was efficient. When you talk about one of the best field goal percentage in the history of the game, that's some Kareem Abdul-Jabbar territory.
Windler will give it up here. And it's drained in the quarter by Kevin McLean and a timeout called by Ray Harper. Belmont on a strong start here on the road. They're up by 6 over JSU at the Peak.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Esurance, auto and home insurance for the modern world. And Carl's Jr. and Hardee's. We pack our signature Big Burger flavor you love into our new charbroiled sliders.
Back in Jacksonville, as we take a look at the updated OVC standings, it's Murray State and Belmont at the top with just 2 pallid losses, but then you have Austin Peay. It's really been the surprise of the league in third.
Yeah, they grind it out. They play just tough. They get after 5 guys, and then Tennessee State is riding right there. This is a big game for Jacksonville State because the 2 top teams, Murray State and Belmont, have a double bye next week. And then Austin Peay right now is in position to have a single bye. So both teams have a lot to play for. Rick Bird said, I'm an old-fashioned coach. I still believe in winning conferences if you get the opportunity. And also, Jacksonville State wants to try to move up and get a bye.
At the end of the day, this is a 1-bid league in the OVC. The last time they got 2 bids, you got to go all the way back to 1987 when it was Middle Tennessee State and Austin Peay going to the dance.
That was back in my era. I was still hooping, man. I was dunking back in 1987.
Burnell with the turnaround.
Now you just noticed they got their regular starters back in. Burnell's back in and Gregory's back in. So let's see if the defensive intensity picks up.
He has led Jacksonville State in scoring the last 5 games. Windler for 3, and that's smooth.
The last 4 times, Belmont has gotten anything they wanted off of the high screen and roll, which moves the defense, and then Windler can find an open shooter. That's how they're 4 for 6. They're on fire.
First points tonight for Windler. He's really had to step up his game as we documented from the outset. First 2 seasons, he was really a spot scorer, but really shining bright this go-around. Pull up there for Hunter.
One thing as a starter, you just get right back into the flow. Now, what is this, the 28th, 29th game of the season, so you are who you are right now, but he has been playing well for them.
Drumright gave it up again to Burnell. Gregory for 3, and a 1-point game.
It's amazing what happens with young players when they make one good play. It bleeds over to another. Gregory drew that foul and then came back with an impressive 3-pointer.
In and out there for Keze. here comes Hunter as Jacksonville State's looking to take its first lead with Gregory. Gave him 2 for 2 from downtown. And the Gamecocks have the advantage at home on a 9-0 run.
You could feel it when they subbed in, when Gregory came in, when Burnell came in, that intensity raised, and they've been answering the call.
Gregory was feeling it. Burnell with the right hand, strong. Sampson lost it, and it's cleaned up by Cam Martin.
2 top 10 teams, 1 Big 12 blockbuster.
Yes!
Kansas, Texas Tech, Saturday at 4:15 on ESPN.
Kansas is red hot right now. They've won 3 straight, a share of 13 straight Big 12 titles. But how about the job by Chris Beard at Tech? They lost the last 2, however, to Baylor and Oklahoma State. They're led by Keenan Evans, averaging over 17 points per game. West Virginia, 7% chance to win the Big 12, according to our ESPN.com BPI. And Joe Lenard, ESPN bracketologist, has 7 Big 12 teams making the field.
Well, you know, a lot of damage is done. Nice job running inside. Miller back. A lot of damage is done in the non-conference season. Arizona State right now is still in the tournament because they've had 7 wins in the non-conference, even though they've been under 500 in the Pac-12.
Yeah, the latest #1 seeds: Virginia, Villanova, Kansas, and Xavier as well. Villanova beat Xavier a few games ago. And it's delivered there by Martin once more.
Dave
beat Belmont and also Murray State earlier this year. They lost to Buffalo and the Cayman Islands by 5. Beat Chattanooga in overtime as well. Cam Martin for 3.
You know who he reminds me of? College basketball's version. I'm going to take you back. It's Kevin Love.
Yep.
He's physical. He rebounds. He's a freshman. But also, he knocks down a good 3-pointer.
Austin Luke drains his 3rd 3 tonight.
Now, Belmont knows that they've been punched in the nose twice by Jacksonville State. You can see the urgency that they're playing with because this is a physical team and they don't want to have to play catch-up against this team.
Hunter went inside to Burnell. Plays that 3 or the 4. A really good athlete there. Give him 4 points this evening. McClain slicing in. And there's the heave down, looking for Hunter again, and he gets it over Windler. .20 to shoot here for Windler. Little off balance, hits it nonetheless, no surprise.
He and Jonathan Stark are in the running for MVP. Stark was the preseason favorite, but Windler has been on fire.
Count it out, a foul there for Gregory.
Jamal Gregory is so explosive, only to average 8 points a game. He has already come out and put pressure on this team, shooting a 3-point shot, getting the breakaway layup, and then coming out with a possible and 1 as well.
Timeout on the floor. It's all Jacksonville State, up by 7 over Belmont. Back in a moment. Bruins down by 8, 9 minutes to play in our first half, and it's Windler fading away.
Love his game. It's something about 6'7", left-handed, smooth. Reminds me of somebody from 30 years ago.
10 points for him, 13 double-doubles on the year. Gregory's feeling it at home, in and out though. Gotta like the confidence from Jamal Gregory. Nonetheless, Windler falls.
Belmont's still hanging around. They have an opportunity if they hit a 3-point shot to close it within 3. So they're still hanging around, and they've weathered the emotional storm of the home team.
And Hannon drains it a straightaway 3.
Dave, you can see that coming. You can see that right now. You would think the Gamecocks are up by 10 or 15 points, but Belmont has been diligent, just hanging around, grinding out, trying to compete with a physical team.
And it's stolen away by McClain. Jacksonville State led by 8. Now it's seesawed back down to a 3-point game. And Luke will get the call here from Rick Byrd. McClain and an offensive foul called against Belmont. Tip off your weekend with our star-studded NBA Friday doubleheader at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. The Timberwolves are in Houston. Then Dennis Smith leads the Mavs against the Lakers. Our coverage begins on Friday with NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. It's Saturday at 4:15 Eastern, 3:15 Central. A game that could determine the Big 12 regular season title. As number 8 Kansas takes on number 6 Texas Tech in a Sonic blockbuster. Then 5th-ranked Duke hosts Syracuse. Both games are on ESPN and will stream live on the ESPN.
Who you got on that
app.
Texas Tech?
You know, I like the way Coach Bird's team has really performed. I think they've surprised a lot of people this year, and Duke has won the last 4 of the other game as well. Syracuse trying to get into the dance as the ACC is really deep.
Well said. Couldn't say it better. so you got Texas Tech like me. I'm going with Texas Tech. Egakazi is back in the game, number 32 in white. He has been their second leading scorer. So let's see if he can get himself an open shot to get to the basket.
That's a good low move there by Matt Mercer. Coming off a 13-point performance in the 43-point win against Morehead State for Belmont. Gregory's had a strong performance here at home. Pulls up over McLean and he's way off.
Belmont has done a better job settling in, withstanding the emotional charge with Jacksonville State.
Austin Luke tries to get his team the lead.
Yeah, that was a tough shot. They have the green light to shoot it, but that was a tough shot.
For the last few minutes, how have you liked the response here from Belmont roaring back?
Well, defensively, they're matching the intensity of the bigger front line. Look at that, right there, that hustle play. Going after it with reckless abandon.
Now it's going to be on Burnell of Jacksonville State. And three-point shooting really advantageous, obviously, for Belmont. No exception, Windler.
We talked about him, and he was perpetual motion. We talked about his 41% at the three-point line, and it carries over. His feet are set. And he does it like the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets, they either shoot the three-pointer or they drive to the basket, and that's what he does. Little is talked about with Belmont that they're one of the top teams in the nation from two-point field goals because they get inside and drive all the way to the basket.
You're right. For the last 5 years, a lot of people talk about three-point shooting by Coach Bird's teams, and that's true. But for the last 5 years, they've led the nation in two-point field goal percentage. Now, that was largely due to the two-time All-American Evan Brads, and also Taylor Barnett was also a fantastic guard for them. This year, though, as you've mentioned, they have to play a little bit different.
But then are we surprised with anything with Coach Bird? Coach
Not
Bird
at all.
coaches to his personnel. He gets guys in there that he can trust and then gives them the car keys. And it's a compliment to say that he does not overcoach his players.
Has liked the job his team has done at this point in OVC play. In fact, in non-conference action, they were very successful too. They were up by 9 against Washington, ended up losing that game as well, but a few good wins against Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky. Mercer inside with the left hand, 1 of 2 on those attempts.
Martin got away with one because when you can get 2 feet in the paint and jump hook over your favorite shoulder, that's usually a basket for the opponent.
Maurice Dunlap coming into the game at the top of your screen for Jacksonville State. It's Martin for 3. He's really feeling it from the top of the yard.
Little love, give a little love, like in Kevin Love. He's a post player, a banger, but steps out and shoots the three-pointer in the flow of the offense.
Foul's going to be called here against Cunningham of Jacksonville State.
This has been some key baskets from Martin. Every time Belmont's been on the run, the young big guy, the freshman, has been able to knock down a timely three-pointer.
And JSU is shooting better from the three-point line than Belmont, surprisingly. There's the numbers there, 15 attempts from Belmont, which you would expect at this point.
Look at the spacing, the ball movement.
It's tipped away by Hunter. Third turnover on Belmont. Down by 4 on the road. Martin again. That was like you were playing on a rewind there, AB.
Well, you know what creates that, because they come off, Drumright comes off so hard, he draws the big over to him, which leaves an open shooting pocket for his big guy.
Here's McLean with 17 to shoot amid the trees. Has to give it out. Luke gave it up. Adelsberger short on the reverse. Here comes JSU with Dunlap. Working on the screen there with Cunningham. Drumright's been quiet to start. Inside Martin again. Swatted away, though.
Two well-coached teams. They share the basketball. They spread the floor out, and then they get an open shot for a teammate. Watch the spacing. You can see a double team coming because they spread the floor so well.
Belmont without a basket in the last 3 minutes. 10 to shoot here for Luke. For three. And drains it.
Watch Martin. They've gotten some mileage on this high screen and roll where Drumright comes right here and passes it to his big and play off of him.
That was tipped by Windler. Pinballs to Hunter for the pull-up yet again. Falls down. Windler had it. Martin with the right hand. Strong. And it seesaws out for Belmont here. McLean is going to drop it off to Windler. And Belmont wisely going to reset here. That's the decision-making from McLean this year that's really strengthened him. Look at him drive inside. He can't get the roll. But better decision-making, and Coach Bird likes that on the Belmont half for Kevin McLean, who he calls an X-factor out there.
Well, you think about this, Dave. Because both teams are so well coached, they space the floor well, you never have to take a bad shot. Because if you're open, the ball will find you. A teammate will find you.
Drumright down low, and the reverse successful for Christian Cunningham.
Now, if Drumright was looking for his offense, he could have shot it there, but he passed up a good shot for a great shot. He's really a natural small forward size.
Hunter short, very active on the offensive side for JSU.
Belmont could take a lead with a three-pointer.
Windler! And Dunlap is going to let this go out as Jacksonville State is holding a 2-point edge as we reach another timeout here. Austin Luke's had a great game. He has 12, but trying to counter him is Cam Martin as well, getting it off to Hunter with the pull-up.
Presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies. And Sam Adams, fill your glass.
Earlier today, they laid the sticker on the court and will honor JSU all-time winningest coach, Bill Jones. In fact, the lone number retired here at the P.
Yeah, that's pretty good to have your jersey retired, and then he's got good handwriting right there. I'm impressed with the handwriting. Looks like Walt Disney. You know?
They will have a ceremony at the half of the court dedication in his honor. Won the 85 D2 national title, 85 national coach of the year. In fact, special treat, we'll have Coach Jones joining the broadcast in the second half.
Yeah, it would help more for Jacksonville State if they can go into this half with a lead because they've led for the majority of the first half.
Edwards driving in with the right hand out. Like a Keze had it. Belmont likes that as the call is going to go against JSU.
Yeah, we're just talking about to that point. If Belmont can get the lead, think about this. They have trailed the majority of the first half, but if they get this lead going into half, psychologically, they have the advantage.
That was on Martin for JSU. And Cunningham really strong getting back in there. The active OVC block leader as well. And you take a look at JSU, and one could point out that they have probably the most lethal front court in the OVC. Shot clock unplugged, 8 to go. McLean drops this off for Windler. He was rejected there by Gregory. 2 seconds to go. Giga with the prayer. Tried to get it on senior night to no avail. JSU will go to the locker room, leading by 2.
Yeah, when you talk about leading by 2, 14-3 at halftime. But 20 minutes of intensity should be there again. This was a well-played first half.
JSU trying to pull to one of those top 4 seeds of the OVC, trying to snap 3-game losing streak, while Belmont trying to continue riding its 3-game win streak. On the other side, it's our college basketball halftime report. It's JSU up by 2 over Belmont as we reach halftime. Start of the second half here at the Pete in OVC action. It's Jacksonville State leading Belmont by 2. Welcome courtside with Adrian Branch. I'm Dave Leno, and you can see the depth of scoring from JSU. Drumright's their leading scorer. He hasn't scored tonight. Yeah,
he's been unselfish. He's let his team play around him. He already has 4 assists, but he's been moving the basketball. But when Gregory came off the bench, he's been double figures, the three-pointer, the slam dunk, the and one, and also Burnell. They've been playing with such an intensity that the difference is the bench points, 22-2.
But Belmont is stuck to their MO. It is raining threes here at the P.
Coming out, this is the strength of Belmont. They're going to shoot the three-pointer and continue to shoot the three-pointer. An easy start, but Giga on senior night gets off to a good start. Look at that ball movement again, knocking it down at a good clip, 42%, 9 for 21. But the difference maker has been Gregory coming off that bench, sharing it, moving it. This is going to be a well-played game. I'm interested to see where the separation will come in the second half.
JSU 5 of 12 from 3. Take a look at the disparity here. Belmont out to a hot start, up by 7. They've since gone 2 of 8 from downtown. And if you haven't followed JSU, it's one of the best scoring defenses in the country, in the top 20 to be exact. That's been their calling card, especially when they're getting in the 60-point range. As Giga hits from 3, looks at his bench and says, all right, I'll take it.
Well, it was tentative. It was a second thought, but he's got a nice smooth stroke, shoots the ball easy, nice release point. Go up there and give your best Cam Martin imitation. Just let your hands go.
Windler with the right hand, tipped in by Haddon. Cunningham just held to 5 points in the last win. The game against Austin Peay for Jacksonville State. But 27 starts last year, getting it done this go around as well, especially with his blocks in the interior. It's too much space for Windler. What kind of adjustments do you want to see on the Belmont half as they're trying to lock this one up on the possession?
More balance. They share the basketball. They'll give it to the open shooter, but then you have to execute it. So they need offensive balance right there.
And it's drained again by Egekeze. And we're deadlocked at 42.
Right on cue. And they have not played their best basketball collectively. But now they've tied up. They hadn't got that lead, but they are very much attached to this game.
Second foul on Luke inside the Hunter. Beautifully executed there. Compliments of Drumright.
Yeah, Dylan got beat on that play. He fell asleep, moving without the basketball, turned it on his own medicine. Now this is a time in the game, 15 minutes left, where you have to be mentally tough and physically tough, not pick up cheap fouls. My teammate Kareem Abdul-Jabbar used to say, fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Adden gets it in and a foul. Compliments with a dime from Egekeze. Deadlocked here at 44. We're joined by JSU all-time winningest coach Bill Jones after this. There was a great ceremony at halftime with a court dedication for JSU all-time winningest coach Bill Jones. Won the 85 D2 national title, also the 85 National Coach of the Year. 20 win seasons, had 11 of them to be exact. He's the only number retired at number 12 of the rafters here at the P. Coach, you're joining us here as well as we're in the midst of play. What has this day been like for you?
You know, it's been exhilarating, I'll tell you that, because I got to see all the players, and I told all my players, you know, that's my name on the floor, but all of y'all are written right under that, because all of them are the reasons that I got that name on the floor. I found out my first year of coaching that I was an average coach if I had great players. So what I tried to do is go out and find the best players I could get, and everything worked out from there. But it was great seeing all of them. And you know, and our fans, we packed this building. In fact, I got to be good friends with the fire marshal. He's the one that closed the doors when we had too many in here. So we had some great years here. So Ray and I'm talking to the assistants, and I'm sure they said, oh my God, what have we done bringing this guy up here? But
you're a star, Coach.
Hey,
we appreciate it.
Thanks so much for your time. Congratulations. You're going in the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame on April 28th. Congratulations for that.
I appreciate it.
Congrats, Coach.
I enjoy y'all. I enjoy watching y'all perform. Y'all do a great job.
Started out 3 of 5 in the second half, but has since gone cold until that moment there by Marlon Hunter. He's been very impressive tonight for JSU.
Both teams are playing like they have something to play for. Belmont wants to win the regular season title. It's important to them. Jacksonville State wants to get into a double bye. It's important to them. And they hold the belt. They're the reigning champions in the tournament.
The drive there by McLean, a little off balance, and Martin had it for JSU. Gregory will give it back. Drum right, slicing in with the left hand. He's trying to get going here at home.
I love a hesitation dribble by a point guard in traffic. You saw that. He was able to keep his dribble alive and get separation with a driving lane.
He's not going to score the 20, 30 points like Windler will, but he will lead JSU often. McLean thought about it, going to go inside. Mercer did this a lot in half number one. Off the fingertips of Egekeze. We reach another timeout at Jacksonville State, leading by 1 over Belmont in OVC play. Back in a moment.
2 top 10 teams, 1 Big 12 blockbuster.
Yes!
Kansas, Texas Tech, Saturday at 4:15 on ESPN.
Kansas has won the last 3. Tech has lost the last 2, but conference champions since 2006. You have Mark Few of Gonzaga, Bill Self of Kansas, and Coach Bird of Belmont.
Yeah, and we talked about some of the coaching influences. I mean, we're in the presence of a legend. We're in the presence of a Hall of Famer. And he said his dad, who was a writer, 5-time sports writer of the year back for Tennessee, back when C.M. Newton was in there and Adolph Rupp and back in the 60s. So he cut his teeth watching these legendary coaching figures.
His father, Ben Bird, was a writer and followed Tennessee basketball. He used to hand out the programs out there to stay close to the game. But he also complimented, of course, John Wooden.
Yeah, exactly. And he said his dad just went on to glory at 90, I believe, a year ago. And so Coach believes he's a teacher, just like John Wooden, and doing it right. He says in hotels, my team's not going to be the loudest. When they're talking to people, their headphones are going to be out. So he's trying to mold young people, and he's been doing a fantastic job. As a coach, you want to ask, is my offense getting me good shots? That was a good shot. That was just missed badly, but beautiful ball movement.
You can make a case that Belmont's one of the most spaced teams, not only the OVC, but also the country, thanks in part to their lethal three-point shooting. And boy, Marlon Hunter, all confidence with that pull-up, give him 14.
That's his spot, right in the corner. It's right about a 10 to 12-footer. He just knocks that thing down. But again, 2 well-coached teams. When you're seeing the ball movement, the spacing, the patience, you're seeing 2 great coaches going at it.
There are the Bruins down by 5. Luke for 3. Mercer gets the miss and splits 2.
Excellent job by the big lefty in traffic, saving that possession. Martin did it a possession ago, saving that possession. And then you're just seeing Mercer in traffic.
Yeah, they say about Mercer, if he makes his first shot, he's going to deliver. He got off to a hot start tonight, and he has been so successful this evening. Another guy is Martin. Drum right with the pull-up.
You're seeing JSU now on a 10-2 run because they're playing with snap. Both teams, I like what I'm seeing, the concentration. It's easy to get fired up for Belmont. Giga said on senior day, this is the best team in the conference. So they've matched the intensity and been able to maintain the lead.
That's finished there by Windler again.
Luke controlling the game, one of the best assist men. Egekeze. He can hit that.
Gets the roll on the road. That deadlocks it at 54 at the paint. 9 points for Amonte Egekeze.
We are seeing possibly the second of a trilogy. They could possibly meet again to see who goes to the NCAA tournament. And it's a thing of beauty.
Pull up there for drum right, lead back to JSU. 2 in a row for Malcolm. Windler has numbers, and the foul's going to be called against Marlon Hunter. But Egekeze's been stepping up here.
Not over-analyzing, letting his hands go. And he's a young man that can score 16 points a game. And boy, was that shot needed.
Let's take a look at tonight's assist of the game presented by State Farm.
It's an inside curl. Windler going out inside and then curling right back to the basket for a lovely alley-oop lob. Good basketball. This is basketball in its purest form when you've got both teams just going out there playing, not over-analyzing it. The coach is giving you a structure for offense and defensive game plan, and then you're just playing. This is pure basketball.
Belmont deadlocked in first with Murray State. When they're trying to get the runner there was Burnell again. Here's JSU pushing.
This is what makes JSU dangerous. They can play in transition, they can defend the half court, and big size travels.
Burnell's 2 for 2 on this stretch. And that's good up and under there. Missed opportunity by Sampson. Gregory has it. Here comes Drumright.
Sampson has to match the intensity. He's only been playing 4 minutes, but he's got to pick up his intensity.
Look at those moves by Drumright over Windler, taking it to school.
Senior night. He's up to 8 points now, 6 assists.
Tonight on ESPN after UCLA Utah, it's SportsCenter at Night with John Buchagras and Zubin Mehenti. We'll take an in-depth look at the second half of the NBA season. Plus, where does Tigers game stand with the Masters just 6 weeks out? And the best Waltonisms from the great Bill Walton. SportsCenter at Night, 11 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Crowd's feeling it here.
They're feeling it. It's been testy. It's been testy with Haddon. It's been testy with Giga.
Drumright will give it up to Gregory.
They're looking to blow this lead open. Can Belmont hold them and keep this crowd out of it?
Burnell doubled into Hunter over Haddon off the window. Only 9 available players for Bird's unit in Belmont. Giga.
5 guys sharing the basketball. That's a tough shot. Challenge shot.
Contested there by Windler, but put in nonetheless there again. It's Marlon Hunter. Who else?
It's been a workmanlike performance by the Gamecocks. This is senior night. This is a team that's trying to get up in the top 4 seeding to get a bye in next week's OVC Conference Championship.
2 seniors. A look down low instead here to Cunningham. Good spin move and finishes.
Everything's working right now, inside and outside for Jacksonville State, and they've earned it. They started to wear down a feisty Belmont team.
That was tipped by Giga out to Windler for 3, and that's a big one for the Bruins.
My goodness, when you talk about a scoring 1-2 punch, Luke and Windler have been lights out.
Huge basket there for Windler. Pulls this game within 7. Come back with the exciting finish on the other side.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Sam Adams. Fill your glass.
Windler and Hunter are delivering for the respective programs, beginning with Windler.
Windler has been lights out. He is one of the conference's preseason, postseason MVP. And then Marlon Hunter, who's been lights out himself, scoring 18 points, big baskets, mixing up his offense, shooting the mid-range game. Boy, this has been impressive. 18 points apiece for both of these players.
We'll get the set play from Harper.
This is a time where you have to score for Jacksonville State. You've got to continue to attack because Belmont is going to try to score quickly once they get possession.
Hunter for the pull-up. That's long. Need a rebound. It's Burnell. Can't put it in. Hunter got it back off of Luke. It's saved by Gregory. Fresh 30 here for JSU.
Tough possession for Belmont. They did everything but secure that rebound.
Gregory shredding the defense. Pull out here to Drumright. Spinning away. Tough shot. Senior can't hit it. Who wants it? It's Belmont. Bruins down by 6. Windler's going to get fouled here by Marlon Hunter.
You want to make this one and then push up. Try to go for a steal. They're active. They're quick. Belmont has been guarding in the full court pressure pretty well.
And a 4-point game here in Jacksonville, Alabama. Benker just came in for Belmont on the defensive side, bottom of your screen, wearing number 24 in white. Into Giga. Trying to lob this down, and they will successfully to Gregory. Will find Hunter, and a foul!
The home team has been beating pressure with pressure. First it was Giga at the free throw line. And then you're seeing Marlon Hunter, who is looking like the MVP of his team in this game.
One shy of his career high. Look at that move by Windler. And a quick timeout here called by Rick Bird of Belmont with 1:12 to go.
Burnell 76%, Marlon Hunter at 78%.
Out to Drumright. Rick Bird says don't foul here. Need a stop if you're Belmont. Hunter's free though on the baseline. Good defense by McClain. Drumright for three. Huge one on senior night.
Big basket. That's a timely basket here. They've got to try to respond quickly. Too much time. Too much time. You got to attack.
Agakeze misses. Quain trying to go for the miss, and there's Gregory. And the foul. As Burnell's at the free throw line.
Wonderful job by Jacksonville State. Once Belmont got the lead, they kept their poise and they continued to push the tempo until they were able to get some separation. A 6 or 7 point differential in a close game is like a lot of breathing room against Belmont.
11-point game now. Windler was pickpocketed away thanks to Hunter. And that's going to do it here at JSU. They snap a 3-game losing skid. Will get their 10th OVC win as they defeat Belmont for the 3rd consecutive time.
They earned that one. It was a great job. We'll see you at the OVC because they may meet again in the championship game.
Hunter had 21 in the game. In fact, 13 in the second half for Ray Harper. In fact, on the other side, JSU head coach Ray Harper will join us here to wrap it up as his team gets the win at home. Dave Leno, Adrian Branch, and we're joined by Ray Harper of JSU. Coach, congratulations on the 3rd consecutive win over Belmont.
Well, I thought our kids played extremely hard, and you know, for whatever reason, over the last week, we've just struggled to score the basketball, and we really got back to the basics this week and tried to get it corrected, and I thought we looked pretty good on the offensive end tonight.
Coach, it's interesting. All the elements were there tonight. You had senior night, which could be emotional. Then you had Bill Jones. That was good handwriting by the coach right here.
It's a lot better than my handwriting.
And then you guys beat a team in Belmont that you've just had their number. What did we see tonight?
Well, I think we had talked about we've really gotten away from who we are. Our identity is tough, defensive, rebound to basketball. And, you know, when things would go south on us on the offensive end, we'd venture off and want to do it on our own.
Yeah.
One pass, no passes.
Trust the process.
We didn't do that tonight. We really got back to trusting each other and trusting what we were trying to do. And when we do that, we've got a chance to have a good basketball team.
You're 17-2, holding opponents under 40%. Just how huge has your defense been down the stretch? And you need them to be to get that 3 or 4 seed in the OVC tournament upcoming.
Well, I mean, it's kind of who we are. I mean, last year in the conference tournament, no one scored 60 or more points on us, and that's not been our issue in our recent losses. I mean, we held Murray State, a great offensive team, to 68, and Austin Peay scored 60 on us. We just haven't been able to score the ball, and so we had staff meetings Sunday and really got some things ironed out to try to get our offense corrected tonight.
Well, Coach, it was interesting because the coaching staff was saying, going against you, and earlier it was a compliment. They were saying that this team could be a Jekyll High. When you guys are cooking, it's a man among boys. Now, let me make that point there and also say what? This time last year, you guys had dropped the last 2 out of 3 before you went on that magical run. So you seeing some of the same fabric that you want to just get this win and try to get momentum for the OVC?
It's kind of what we've talked about. Again, you know, a season, it's a journey, and you have to stay together, and there's always so many outside influences. And, you know, I thought we lost who we were and our identity, but give these kids credit. You know, I think we're starting to work some things out, and I think he's got an idea tonight of how good we can be.
I'd like to ask real quick, coaches, they're like your babies. They're like your kids. What will you take from this magical moment where you have your key guys, Drum Right, senior night, Giga, senior night, you had 3 seniors. What will you take from this game and this night?
Well, first, you know, those guys, they deserve to win their last game in the arena that they're going to play in. And I'm just happy for that entire locker room. We needed something good to happen. We need to get our confidence back, and hopefully this can be a step in the right direction. I mean, Rick's one of the best basketball coaches in the country. He'll have his guys ready next week when we get to Evansville, and you know, I'm sure we're going to see them again at some point next week.
Yeah, real soon. It's going to be a quick turnaround. Yeah. Hey, Coach, we appreciate it. Real quick, I want to ask you this one. Y'all went to the tournament, and you had Bill Jones there. How special was that? That was really a touch of class.
Well, Bill he's special to me. Although he did end my college career in the Final Four the year they won the national championship here, but he's been a friend. He was a great basketball coach, and it's an honor for me. I've had the good fortune. I'm coaching on Bill Jones' court, and when I was at Oklahoma City, I was able to coach at Abe Lemon's court, who coached me at the University of Texas. So I've been very fortunate to be around some good people and some good mentors.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the win, and good luck the rest of the way. Adrian and I will wrap it up on the other side. It was JSU prevailing by 11 over Belmont. At the P, led by Windler and Hunter.
Yeah, you talk about guys that only had 1 turnover combined. They were so timely for their team and mixing up their offense. The alley-oop dunk, the transition baskets, and Marlon Hunter plays bigger than his 6'2" frame. Watch this finishing. This was a big basket also to help keep that lead, and then coming back in traffic, knocking down that mid-range game. He has been a tough customer, just what the doctor ordered. Showing that ball fake, this is classic fundamental basketball.
As we take a look at the updated standings in the OVC right now, you'll still see that Belmont is at the top with Murray State. In fact, they'll be at the number 2 seed, so they're likely to get that double bye in the OVC tournament. Jacksonville State right now at 5th. Now, we touched on JSU with Coach Harper. How about for Coach Bird's side in Belmont right now? What is the state of this team?
Well, one, they don't want to see Jacksonville State right now because it's just been a problem with their physicality and the lack of depth. When you talk about the bench production, which was 30-4 when the game really mattered, that was just something they couldn't withstand. Coach Bird is a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a teacher and then a coach. He'll make the adjustment. So what they have to do is continue to take pressure off of Luke and Windler because they could do no wrong. They were all right coming into the final 5 minutes, 31 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, and only 1 turnover. They've got to get some help.
Yeah, only 9 guys available for Belmont. On the flip side, for JSU, a ton of depth of scoring. Even though right now they're in 5th place of the OVC, do you see this team that has a good opportunity of repeating as champions?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, they've already had success. They've been able to go to the NCAA tournament for the first time ever as a Division I team. So they put together a masterpiece. Belmont is not a cupcake team. They were able to do it with 10 guys collectively, defensively, offensively, 3-point shooting.
For the 3rd consecutive time, it's JSU prevailing over Belmont. For Adrian Branch and our entire ESPN crew, this is Dave Leno saying so long from the Peak. Up next, West Coast Conference action with Portland hosting BYU, Roxy Bernstein, and Karan Butler. All yours, guys.